Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. Hello. I am so happy that you guys are here, and myself and Project Storytime are going to talk about the final, the conclusion of the amazing adventure series that is Mythica, with Mythica number 5, the Godslayer. How you doing there, Project Storytime? How's your night going?
Okay, storm's just starting to get here, so roads aren't covered yet.
Well, I mean, that's always a good thing. That storm hit me sometime last night, and I've got quite a bit of ice and quite a bit of snow, and it's still going strong. So, yay!
I have that to look forward to. Yay!
I hope that everybody is doing really, really great. Everybody in the chat. Let's see who's here. Legionist, how is it? Bastard, I'm so happy to see you. It's been, I'm glad that you're here. I know that you've had a lot going on. Raj Williams, hello. Thank you so much for all of your support. Eric K with his wrench. Oh, thank you guys. Oh, look, there you are, Project.
I'm here.
Cal G, what is up? Wise Guys Entertainment. Greetings, Jacob Ironside. Good evening, one and all. Welcome to this insanity. I missed you too, bastard.
There's Persia.
Where's Ha! Yay, Mama Susan failing to notify once again. Hey, it is what it is. We've got a lot to talk about and not a lot of time to do it. There's a birthday in my house, so I've got very limited time tonight, because I gotta go eat cake and sing songs and be merry and make grilled cheese sandwiches, because that was the request of the birthday individual. So, and I mean,
I want grilled cheese now.
Right? Perfect. Grilled cheese and homemade tomato soup. So,
yeah.
Yes, and Lord Gravemaster, hello, husband. He did tell me to say hello to all of you. So, hi. Hello. And while I'm on target and on task and saying hi to everybody, I'm just going to knock these donations out of the way. You guys are incredible. Raj Williams, as always, just thank you so much for your support. For 10 Canadian dollars, says, looking forward to seeing how it all ends. I'm only behind by this last movie. Well, sir, spoilers. It's going to be spoiler filled, and it's going to be worth it though. Bastard for $5 says, I don't need to read it during the stream, so I won't read it during the stream. Love you, bastard. Cal G for $4. Just here to lace up your pockets with some green. Sorry I couldn't stay last week. Had to get some sleep before heading out to work. Godspeed and let's get it. Yes, Cal G. Hey, never apologize. I appreciate you guys being here more than words can say. Honest to God, truly, truly, and all of your guys' support. The donations, showing up in the chat, just being here every week. It really, I cannot tell you how much it means to me. It's just amazing. I feel so incredibly loved, and it's just a great feeling. So thank you very much. But now that we've got that stuff out of the way, no, you should not. Lord Gravemaster.
Oh my goodness, is that the patriarchy?
It is the patriarchy. I'm being crushed by the patriarchy.
Oh no!
What shall I do with a drunken marine? Yeah, no. Everybody's like, drunken sailor, and I'm like, yeah, y'all have never dealt with drunk marines. It's yikes. Guys, don't encourage him, bastard. Raj, I see you down there. Knock it off. So, yes, my streams are still getting manually reported, and so I get copyright claims, and then I go to challenge them, and they're like, oh, yeah, nope, you're fine. And I'm like, yes, I know I'm fine. Thank you. Now, please stop taking me off the air because somebody tattles. I don't know who it is, but if you're watching this, understand you need to
get a life.
Yeah, find joy. Find happiness. Find something, because I don't know what falsely copywriting my channel my live stream is going to do for you. And it's not a copyright strike, it's copyright claim, but still, it's just like, Adiga, how's it going? I'm so glad you can make it.
Senpai! It's a running joke.
That's so much more funny than it should have been. Okay. Now that we've wasted 5 minutes on pleasantries and niceties and introductions and my husband coming into the chat and stealing my thunder during my own live stream, good golly, we have Mythica 5 to talk about. The Godslayer is the title of Mythica number 5. And
It's a bit of a spoiler, actually.
It is quite a bit of a spoiler. Now, up to this point, we have seen Merrick go through some serious character development and changes, and at the end of the last film, she finally made a decision on her own, though everybody disagreed with it, including myself and Project.
Yeah.
Like, yay, you finally made a decision, but if this is the kind of decisions you make, then you should have just continued to not make any decisions. Because,
yeah.
So basically, at the end of the 4th film, when they got to the Temple of the Owl, which was basically pointless, except to get Tila's spirit out of Merrick.
Basically.
That's basically the only reason.
And bring back their white mage.
Yeah, essentially, yes. So Tila got a power upgrade to Goddess. She is now Anisette / Tila. And Thane
Tila the White, yeah.
Yes, Tila the White. Thane went from tank to paladin.
Yep.
Essentially. Well, Merrick decided that she was going to give the last piece of the dark spore. She traded it for the iron crown of the dwarves.
Yeah.
When she doesn't know how to use it, she doesn't know if it's even going to work. From a legend she pulled out of her keister at the beginning of the 4th film about the Hammer of Tet, which just fell out of nowhere. And apparently Gojin Pai had a library, even though he is basically a nomad. He never stays in one place for very long. That was
and else missing Y chromosome.
What now? For those that want to bring Lady Gravemaster down, you could be doing something productive like going out and touching grass or cleaning out my petri dish. I agree.
Yes.
Thank you, Kindle's missing Y chromosome. I appreciate the support. We should let Ryan know you're here so he can find you and, maybe grow his beard out to look like a man beard.
Seriously.
We've got to find Jeremy's missing Y chromosome because his beard is looking pretty sparse as well.
Yeah. I'll get it.
So, let me 1 second.
Okay. So yeah. Basically you have the Tila the White. She's been resurrected with her now paladin guardian dude.
Yes, Thane. Yes. Sorry. Did not mean to duck out on all of y'all, but like I said, there's lots of happenings in the house right now. But the you don't want him to look for you? Okay. We'll keep it hush hush. Maybe he's the one reporting my streams because you show up here. Dun dun dun.
We've solved it.
The mystery. Okay. But we left off the last film last week. The film for last week was Merrick making very bad decisions.
Yeah.
Gojin Pai told her to go give the last piece of the dark spore to the gods where they could hide it. Anisette was like, yes, we'll hide it for a time, but that thing is so evil, we're not going to keep it up in the heavens forever. And then she explains, so something that we kind of grazed over last week, the reason that the gods have not come down, and it gets explained in this film, is they're scared that they will suffer the fate of Tet. And you're like, what? Apparently Tet is dead.
Yes. The god Tet is dead.
The god Tet is dead. He's down in the underworld, and the gods don't want to go down there. So they don't want to come to Earth. And they don't really want to help out humanity. That's why they've not been answering prayers. But Anisette decided she was going to do something about it. And so Merrick, on a whim, and like it was a whim of a half hunch of an old story buried that she just happened to know while she was on the war wagon.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, will the Iron Crown help with the Hammer of Tet? And Anisette's like, yes. And so Merrick, off of Anisette's very limited amount of information, all Anisette says is it's in the underworld with Tet. Like, it's with Tet in the underworld.
Hello?
She still trades it for the freaking Iron Crown. This is a terrible...
You cut out for a little bit.
Did I cut out again?
A little bit, yeah.
Where did I leave off?
You were saying that the basically
Hammer of Tet.
Yeah, it was with the Hammer of Tet. It's been
okay, so basically Anisette.
Yeah, all they know is
it's in the underworld.
Yes,
with Tet, who's dead. The gods don't want to come down and fight because they don't want to end up like Tet. And Anisette's the only one willing to do anything about it because her daughters have remained loyal through the centuries and millennia to her, and she loves them. And we're talking about the priestesses, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And she also doesn't want... Because if he conquers Earth, he can come up and conquer heaven, is essentially what she's terrified of happening. So it's not even so much that she wants to save mankind, it's that she doesn't want him to come upstairs.
Right.
So that's sort of Anisette's motives are pretty self-centered. And Tila is, of course, so you get this back and forth with Tila and Anisette, not as much as you used to. But Tila is, of course, fighting for her friends and is trying to convince Anisette that they don't need to kill Merrick, and Merrick's not going to turn, and, she's not going to go serve him. And so, and Anisette is like, are you sure? Because she gave him all 4 pieces. Like, everybody keeps pointing out, Merrick literally handed over all 4 pieces of the Darkspore.
Which is a fair criticism.
It is a very fair criticism. Like, there's just no strategy. Like, I don't even know how.
And you cut out again. Yeah, there's
actually,
no
that time I just stopped talking.
Okay.
I'm just like,
okay, yeah.
Strategically, it makes 0 sense that she would here's Zorlok. Here's the 4th piece of the Darkspore. Give me the Iron Crown that I don't know how to use. I don't know where to go, and I have no idea what is up before me. But yeah, Anisette is like, well, I really don't want Zorlok coming up to the House of the Gods and tearing the place down. And the gods want to come down here because they're afraid that, because he's a necromancer, he'll be able to kill them like the Necromancer King did before. And Lord Gravemaster sign. Yeah, I apologize, guys. The weather over here, like I said, we've got an ice storm, so I apologize if it's spotty connection. But something that we really want to focus on right now, Merrick's gone all over this continent, and it wasn't until the last film that you heard mention of her mother. Well, now we come to find out that not only did Gojin Pai know Merrick's mother, Hammerhead knew Merrick's mother and actually hid her away in his root cellar or his wine cellar, whatever. The reason that Merrick is a natural born necromancer is because her mother had a piece of the dark spore for 6 months of the pregnancy or something like that. She
I believe that's what they said. Yeah.
Yeah, so for 6 months she basically had the dark spore on her neck while
Preggers.
Yeah, while preggers. And so it just seeped into Merrick. And then you find out not only did Hammerhead know Merrick's mom, he named Merrick. And Merrick is a dwarven term for when a blade is not quite right. It's not quite straight. There's a bend in it. There's something not quite right with it. And because she was born with a twisted leg, he named her Merrick. And it's very convenient is how I'm gonna phrase that. The writers definitely remember how I said everything sort of ties in together. Well, now it's really starting to tie in together. And had there been more of a setup, I think the payoff would have hit harder. Like if in the first film, Hammerhead would have recognized her, I think it would have made more sense to realize he had done this or named her. This sort of feels kind of like a Deus Ex Machina, if we're going to be... Listen here, Lord Gravemaster. Mark, you see what you did? Yes, that is my husband, and no, he doesn't get a rank. I'm not going to give him that kind of power. He gets everything out of... No! Smash the patriarchy! Rawr! I mean, unless y'all want me to give... Okay, fine. Okay, there you go. Now hubby has a wrench. Thank you, Mark, for the peer pressure. Appreciate it. Ah, bastard! Don't encourage him! Lord in heaven. I'm not going to get to talk about this film at all. So, how do you feel about Hammerhead naming Merrick, Project?
It's kind of out of place. It just kind of comes out of nowhere. It's like...
Yeah, it's a deathbed confession.
I kind of felt like well, I hate to bring it up in comparison, but it kind of felt like the random dude that gave Han Solo his last name that we did. It's like we don't need that.
See, I've not seen Solo.
Keep it that way.
And never intend to. So yeah, it feels like, Merrick's backstory where she was like, we already have quite a bit of backstory with Merrick, and the one real thing that we were sort of curious about is why or how Merrick was a natural born necromancer when they were so rare. Once we found that out, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Mom had the dark spore with her because she also... it makes sense that Gojin Pai knows who Merrick is and why he's not afraid of her being a natural born necromancer, because he knew his mother. They, she was a follower of Zorlok's, and she betrayed him and stole the last piece of the dark spore and ran. Okay, that makes perfect sense. The deathbed confession of Hammerhead saying that he named Merrick was just so contrived and forced and like you said, out of place. And it's like, I don't... Like I said, there wasn't enough buildup to make the payoff worth it. I don't know how else. Like I said, if he had recognized her in the first film or even the second film, he had said, I thought you were going, like, you surprised me because I thought you were going to be something or something else, like, and then be like, just like your mother or something
Mhm.
like that. You know what I mean? Like, this stuff that would sort of hint that he knew more about Merrick than he was letting on. But it's just, you don't have to suspend your disbelief quite as much as you did in the fourth film with the war wagon and the flying battleships and everything.
Yeah.
You don't have to quite suspend your disbelief. And we do actually leave most of the steampunk behind in this film. Like, that's what made number 4 really feel awkward, is because, like, 10 minutes into the film, we ditch the war wagon and they walk on foot and they give it to civilians. And I'm like, dude, you have like a save the world mission and you're going to give up an armored vehicle in a land
Yeah.
full of undead zombies? I don't think so. And then
Yeah,
Merrick's
we need to get to this place as soon as possible, or the whole world will die. Ah, we'll walk. That's fine. We
right?
don't
And
need to
then
ride.
she's like, I've got my magic, you've got your arrow, and she's like, they have nothing. And I'm like, dude, if you die, everybody's dead.
Yeah.
Like, everybody left is dead. So when we start,
And they also got rid of their unkillable zombie girl.
yeah, they left Zombie Girl behind too, and we never get to see her again.
Well,
We
there's
don't.
there's the after credit scene.
Zombie Girl deserved better, okay?
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But so basically, here we go. It's yeah, Zorlok is all powerful and he's got like flying dark things. And poor Tank. Okay, so while Merrick and Deacon are running around trying to figure out what to do with the Iron Crown and find Tet's hammer, Tila and Thane are like fighting the last battle. It is just Tila / Anisette and
A couple of
Thane.
city
Like,
guards.
yeah, like this is the last stronghold of humans, and it's not going well. And so yeah, like, oof, I don't. They're like, look at his face. Like, he's tired.
Yeah.
I like his armor upgrade, but I mean, they're looking at this, and Zorlok, like, refugees are coming to the tower and they are fleeing from Zorlok to the tower, but like they just keep getting pushed. Their forces keep getting pushed further and further and further back. And so here we are, like, he's just gotten his upgrade to paladin and he's pretty much watching the world disintegrate in front of him. And yeah, like, poor man, just poor Thane. Okay, so this is
tired
where,
of being a tank.
huh?
Eric Bacca.
Oh God, Eric, he's not a tank anymore. He's a paladin, so
Yep.
I'm sure he's still tired though.
I would be. He's been through
Yeah.
a lot.
Like, this dude's been through a hell of a lot. Like, he's practically died 6 times. Tila actually died while trying to save him from the Thieves Guild. She got better, yeah, but not for one whole film. And then he made out with Merrick because he was so desperate. Like, I'm just saying. Now we got Deegan and Thane fighting because Thane doesn't.
Well, we skipped quite a bit.
Well, I was just following the trail. Oh, look, there's Tet. Spoiler.
Hodor.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? But so Merrick finds out how she got named, and she gets more information just falls into Merrick's lap. So they've got to go find Tet's tomb. So that's what they're gonna go do. And so she's out for her cross country walk, and Zorlok is getting to her. Like,
Yep.
you know,
Doing the whole Palpatine thing, like good.
yeah, sort of like coaxing her,
Mhm.
poisoning her mind. Turns Deegan into a dark elf in front of her. All kinds of stuff. Like makes her hallucinate. And then Thane and Anisette. Anisette is a witch with a B in this film, by the way.
Yeah.
Like 1000% the reason. Okay, we're skipping because it was a lot of walking, a lot of talking. Information fell into Merrick's lap. Fights,
That's
magic.
basically the movie, yeah.
Yeah, fights, magic, end of the world on the line. Anisette, all of a sudden, is like, I sense Merrick being tempted by Zorlok. We have to go to her. So she teleports her and Thane to Merrick and Deegan. Deegan had the situation under control and was pulling Merrick back. And what does Anisette do? What women do best. Absolutely set the other woman off. Like, holy hell in a handbasket. Anisette is the reason that all this went to crap. Like,
Pretty
for
much.
real. She showed up and she's like, I'm going to kill you if you do this, Merrick. And Merrick's like, you don't know what it's like to have to deal with this and to have him in your head and to have him pressuring you. And what do you mean this or that? And she's like, what do you mean you'll kill me? And she's like, if you don't make the right choice, I'll kill you. Like, what? What are you talking about? And so, Merrick is like, screw you, and bounces, like deuces, and calls on Zorlok, and Zorlok freaking pulls her to him. And is just like, wipes her hand clean.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
I
I also just want to point something out. Okay, so Anisette, Tila, you could teleport.
right?
That really would have been helpful.
Like, holy, just. I told you, Anisette. It is all Anisette's fault because what we're about to say. I was actually shocked at what happened. I'm not gonna lie, and I think Project was equally shocked. Okay, so once Merrick freaking deuces, right? Anisette's like, what are we gonna do? And Tegan's like, you literally just sent her to him, you idiot. Like, you're supposed to be a goddess. We need to figure this out. How do you get to the underworld? And so Anisette Tila finally comes out and is like, we have to kill you, and then you have to come back, like, and I'll bring you back, right? So Thane and Deegan drink poison. But, oh, yeah, I was getting to that, Eric. Yeah, so they've had the Iron Crown of the Dwarves this whole time. I think Merrick has put it on once, and it didn't do what she was hoping. So they've not put the crown back on. Just keep this in mind, folks. So they go ahead and they kill Thane and Deegan, but they don't give either of them the crown to take with them to the underworld. This is
you knew this thing was important.
Yep. Like, you knew that it was necessary. You knew it was needed. There was this whole big spiel. So there's Tet. There's his hammer.
Hodor.
And Deegan. So Thane. Tila brings back Thane. Thane comes back. Then she tries to bring back Deegan. Deegan won't go. And Tet is anticipating Deegan to leave. Right? Because he's like, you're not worthy of the hammer. Because they do this whole, like, spiel. Time passes differently in the underworld. Normal rules of fantasy apply. Like I said, we've pretty much ditched the steampunk from film 4.
Yep.
So it is normal fantasy and mythological rules are basically applying here. Time passes differently in the underworld. You have to prove you're worthy of the hammer.
Kind of.
Well,
because like at first it seems like time moves much slower in the real world when you're in the underworld, and then later it does seem like they're almost in sync. Like, wait, which is which?
Well, I think that was solely for the simplicity of the scene that comes up with the two of them. You know what I mean? Because it would have been really hard to excuse me. Ooh, it would have been really hard to have that scene play out any other way with like a delay. You know what I mean? And we're getting to that scene. Don't worry, guys. So Dane has been healed. And Tet is like, go home, thief. You're not worthy of the hammer. And, Deegan stays. Like, Teal's trying to bring him back, and he won't go.
Mm-hmm.
And he dies. Deegan stays in the underworld. Like, he dies. And then how Zorlok finally manages to completely turn Merrick is he shows her. Now, remember, he is a necromancer. He is now a king necromancer because he's got the dark spore in his chest. I'm just gonna, like, that reminds me of a lot of stuff. Specifically, feels kind of a little bit like Iron Man, not gonna lie. But hey, it works. It's very fantasy-esque. I can roll with it. And the way that it's working is if you don't chop off the head of someone who has died, they will rise and serve Zorlok. So the way that Zorlok turns Merrick to his side is he shows her Thane chopping off Deegan's head. Because, by the way, Thane chops off Deegan's head so that he won't rise as an undead elf.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Deegan is dead, like, not coming back. He is dead. His spirit is in the underworld to stay. Well, this impresses Tet so much. He's like, here, you can have the hammer now. And Deegan's like, okay, well, like, what do I do? And that's when Deegan's like, we didn't bring the crown. And, like, it all starts to click for Deegan. And, well, he's already dead. His head is chopped off. There's nothing he can do. And Tet's like, you better move. And then Deegan is able, again, remember, he's in the underworld. Deegan is able to cross hundreds of miles in a very short span. Like,
Well, I mean, he's not bound by physical laws anymore.
yeah, just like, he is able to cross quite a bit of terrain.
I like to picture that, like, the Benny Hill theme song was playing in his head while he's running. That would have been great.
That would have been hilarious.
Might have been out of place.
Just a tish. So now Merrick's pissed because they killed Deegan. And she showed up and she tried to stab Zorlok at first. That did not work. If anybody, no. Shocking absolutely nobody, that didn't work. So,
shocking that no one did.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, so she uses her magic on him. She tries to stab, like, it don't work. Because you need the hammer of Tet, yo. And
yeah, because he has the dark spore, so he's all powerful now.
All powerful. Well, now she's pissed. She's specifically pissed at Anisette. Again, remember, what is about to take place is literally all Anisette's fault. I am not even joking. So Zorlok wasn't strong enough to do it before, but now that he has the only natural-born necromancer on his side, you see how she's looking up and screaming, and she's got lightning? That's not coming into her hands. It's going out of her hands. They're killing the gods. Like, she is literally draining the life source out of all of the gods. Every single one. They successfully kill them, and Zorlok is the only one left, or so he says. Which was, of course, his intention the whole time, was she shows up, burns out most of her natural powers, and, they kill the gods together. Now, what he forgot, of course, was Anisette is still down on Earth. And she is, of course, not happy that all of the gods are dead because that's her family. And yeah, she doesn't really like all of them, but I mean, she sure as heck didn't want them dead. And she tried to explain to Thane and Tila and Merrick and because Deegan made the crack. Would it really be so bad if the gods died? And Anisette is like, you're talking about no order, no law, no nothing. The gods exist to this, that, and the other. And Deegan's like, well, they've been doing a piss poor job of it lately. So, yeah, Deegan dies. The gods die, which I also didn't see. Like, I really did not see Zorlok successfully killing the gods. That was not on my radar at all. Now, if you're watching, stalker of my live streams who likes to report me, you're about to get a legit reason to. And if you're not here, sucks to be you. So, we're going to do, this is going to get clipped out of the whatchamajingle.
The stream?
The stream. Yeah, I'll clip this afterwards.
Okay.
But we have got something a little bit special for you. Hold on. What am I sharing? Wait a sec. Okay. I just realized I don't have audio. So, 1 second. We're going to show you the clip where Merrick puts on the crown. Everybody's dead. Anisette just died to save Merrick.
It's all black.
It's black? What? Why? I don't understand. Rude. Hold on.
I'm looking at the.
Okay, so it's
Look
just
at
showing
this.
up black for you? All right, hang on. Let me try and.
Yeah, I'm looking at the feed on the stream.
Okay, so hold on. I will fix. I'll try to fix. Dang it. Why? What are you Streamlabs, what are you doing? StreamYard. I don't even know what program I'm on anymore. So did you pause on a frame between scenes? Yes.
We'll go with that.
I did. I did. Does that do something? Does that make it all funkadelic? See, look, I didn't even. I'm a millennial and I am boomering everything. Like, StreamYard's trying to protect my channel. If only, Eric. I wish. Oh, man.
Celebrating Black History Month, I see.
Yes. That's it. That's what we're doing. Black squares. Okay. Do. All right. Let me see if I can. All right. We're going to try this again, folks. And I apologize. It's too late to apologize. All right. I'm going to get struck for that. Watch. Okay.
About why I would choose to stay in.
Okay, so it's playing on my screen, but it's black for y'all.
Yep. I'm seeing nothing.
I don't understand. Like, why? Hold up. Boom, boom. Okay. Let me see if I can... Maybe if I switch monitors? Does anybody know...
There might be a program that's like, that blocks streaming the thing.
It's blocking it again. Hang on, let me see. Ha! Okay.
There we go. I see it now.
All right. Had to switch monitor.
And there's no audio now.
Seriously? Okay.
You really are learning those boomerang lessons from Gary well, aren't you?
Listen here, okay? I am just trying to keep everybody on your toes. Too bad she doesn't know what the background is. Oh, really, Lord Gray? Why are you trying to beef with me on my stream? Hold up. We're going to watch this part. All right, y'all? And then I'm going to have to fight with my husband in front of everybody.
Still no sound. I'm still not getting any sound.
I shared audio.
Is it muted on there?
No, I can hear it. I can hear it in my headset, so it's not muted. And I like
Eric
I
K.
What, Eric K? All right, well, y'all are just gonna have to watch her put on the crown without the sound, I guess, because there's literally nothing I can do. Because
Maybe put on the subtitles.
Yeah, you can all read while we do this. Here.
I know you can hear me.
And I know y'all can't. I can hear them just fine.
Yeah, I'm still not hearing anything.
I tried, okay? Yes, Eric K is correct. It is Deegan yelling for Merrick to put the crown on. She finally picks it up. Boom.
And now she can see him.
Moves into heart-warming music. The subtitles make it so bad, Project. It makes it so bad. Why did you suggest this? Boom, here we go. Now, what y'all don't know, you remember how Tila could control Merrick sometimes? That actually does come full circle because Zorlok absorbed Gojin Pai entirely. So. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
See, so she can't even do it by herself because he would have totally killed her right here. 1,000%.
Yep.
She'd be dead. Except her very wise foreseeing Gojin Pai, she calls out to Gojin. Boom.
It's kind of like it is kind of like Darth Vader with Luke.
Sorta, kinda. But hold on. We're gonna skip before I get really super nailed.
Yeah. Could just pause it.
So she shatters his heart.
Yeah, I've had a girlfriend do that once or twice.
Shatters his heart. Darkspore is gone. He's gone. She died. So she shattered the Darkspore. She shattered him. Right? And now all the undead are falling.
Right, because it was the Darkspore that was keeping him alive.
And now we're going to go ahead and there we go. So they give Merrick. So this is the Dwarven King's crown.
Oh, yeah. Marek died.
Merrick's dead.
Yeah, we should probably point that out. Yeah, Marek died because the Darkspore is gone and she had power from the Darkspore.
Yeah. So the whole reason she even survived. The whole reason she even survived was because the Darkspore still existed. And now that she has destroyed the Darkspore, she's dead. Which was another death I did not see coming.
I will admit I did not see it coming.
This finale, I'm not going to say subverted my expectations because it exceeded my expectations. Especially after the fourth film. I was sort of hesitant. I was a little bit nervous.
Down. And the stream just went down.
Yeah, I saw it.
For policy violations.
Yeah. That's why I was trying to skip. I was trying so hard to skip.
Yeah. Just go back to the trailer.
Yep. I mean, not like that worked anyway. Not as well as I wanted it to. I don't know why it wouldn't let the sound play. That's interesting. So one way you can hear it and not see it.
Why would you block the video or allow the video but block the audio? That is weird.
Yeah, yeah, because the one way when it was just a dark screen, you guys could hear it, and then when you could see the picture, you couldn't hear it. So
yeah,
it's Yeah. Let's see. Come alive.
Yeah, and everyone's saying still images seem to be okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I had to learn with my Star Trek reviews. Like, yeah, just still images of it. Don't show any footage.
Oh yeah, no, my email says it detected it. I told yeah. So that one was not manually reported. That one, but that's actually like the film, so it doesn't surprise me that they picked that up.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. I understand this one.
Yeah, like I said, if I get nailed, I won't be. I'll just cut that part out.
Even though there was no audio playing, and we
I
were
know,
providing
right?
commentary, so it still technically falls under public domain. But I can understand it might detect. But you were playing the movie, and we're back.
Yay, we're back! Hi guys,
And we're back.
Okay, so that one was actually not a manual report, which, like I said, I knew I was gonna have to edit that part out because that was like legitimately the movie, and YouTube frowns on that unless it's a private stream. So I was like, I know we're gonna get nailed. That's why I was trying to like click through the film, but it was being problematic. So problematic. See, I can't ever use that word unironically anymore.
I know.
The injustice of it all, Project. The injustice.
That's very problematic. Like, oh my god.
If any of you have no idea what I'm saying when I say injustice, just go watch Az's like last 4 videos or on Frosk. Just the injustice of it all, okay? But you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. Who was it? I think it was Eric. Yeah. Sure, go ahead, start taking bets as long as you cut me in. We can work this system. I'm just saying, you let me know when this needs to go down. I'll make it go down at 15 minutes, 22 minutes, 27 minutes, whatever. As long as I get my cut. It's how you rig the system, okay? Yeah, it was a YouTube AI. But yes, Chris Persia, whoever it is that's reporting me is some kid in Germany.
Nice.
Like, I that's all I know, and I'm just like, first of all, why are you awake?
Does he have a tiny mustache? Dun dun dun.
No, but so yes, Merrick dies. And everybody's sad. But I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do another naughty, but it's gonna be a still. So
okay.
Be nice, Mama Susan. Please, YouTube, don't hate me. All right. So Deegan had perhaps, I would argue Deegan has the largest character development and character arc through this entire series.
Mm-hmm.
He sacrifices his life for Merrick because he wants to save her. And not even from it, and it's not even that he wants to save her from death. He wants to save her from a fate worse than death. And he never cared about anyone like that ever before, or anything. So we've got Deegan fishing in the underworld in his afterlife because he earned it. And then he turns around. God dang it. There we go. No. I can't. Okay. I'm sure you guys can guess who he's looking at. Because it won't let me get to the clip with her. But there's Merrick standing there looking at him. He turns around and sees her. And they're like,
and Mark's Marek is actually wearing a dress, and she's actually like really, really pretty.
Yeah, like super, super pretty. And then this is probably actually one of my favorite scenes out of any movie because the cinematography, this is not green. Like, you see what happens when you don't use cheap green screen and you use practical effects and you let the sun do its thing. Like, look at that. This is beautiful. This whole scene is just gorgeous. I don't know what beach this is, but I know it's not in Utah. And I want to go here.
I think this is a beach in California.
Probably. But yes, so like you've got the sun, you've got the water, you've got the spray, you have the two of them together at last, finally, after all the hardships and all the struggle and everything Merrick had to go through to get here, and Deegan sacrificing himself for mankind and Merrick and, you know, pretty much everybody. We get, like, they get a happy ending finally.
Yep.
And normally I normally don't care if it's in a non-romance movie, I generally do not care if the characters end up together or not. That's not usually one of my, if I'm not watching that genre, that's not usually one of my motivators. But this case, because of everything they went through and the fact that their relationship, to like their friendship growing into caring, growing into respect and mutual love for each other, literally saved the world. I like that they didn't just die and that was it. You know what I mean? I like that we sort of got this nice
Yes.
little ending.
Nice little coda.
Yes. So it was very sweet. And then you have Tila, who is now just Tila because Anisette has died because Zorlok killed her when she showed
can't
up.
Be a goddess. She can't be a goddess of a dead god.
Yeah. So so it is literally Tila and Thane are basically left to rule the world, just an FYI. So Tila and Thane are you know, running things up top. And Merrick is like, you know, you and me, we could run away, have some kids on a beach where we fish, and we just together. And it was like, aw. Oh my god, Eric, this is so true. Like, Deegan was basically, for the past 2.5 movies, begging Merrick to kiss him. And she gave him a little bit in number 3, but, like, didn't after that. And he was, like, begging for affection. Oh, no, she kissed him at the end of film 4. That's right.
Yes.
But, like, yeah. Like, Deegan really wanted Merrick to kiss him. Like, a lot.
I can't say I blame him.
I mean, you know, Melanie Stone is gorgeous. Yes,
Yeah.
Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity. They deserve each other. Yes, he does work out, bastard. So, it was just, you know, things. It's oh yeah, that's what I was gonna hit on. Thank you, Alejandro. Merrick's last words are, "I'm free."
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes back to, like I said, these films are very good at tying into each other. For as outlandish and crazy as number 4, like as steampunkish as number 4 was, and as independent as film 1 was, as like an introductory to this series, because you could watch film 1 and sort of just like, you could watch just 1 and that would be fine. You would get a total story basically. And then it's not till 2 through 5 that it really starts to build off the characters you meet in number 1. So for as independent as number 1 was, and as steampunkish as number 4 was, the movies all actually really do tie very well into each other. And this movie does not suffer what the 4th one did as far as pacing and random story threads, with the exception of Hammerhead. And like I said, they tried to tie that in to be a deathbed confession, which kind of makes sense, but also just felt a little bit too contrived and very pushed. So I think that this is a fantastic ending and tie into the rest of the films, and you really do get the satisfaction of the threads all being closed at the end of the story, which you do not get a lot with modern storytelling, especially a series that takes 5 films, because a lot of narratives get dropped. What do you think, Project?
Yeah. Considering that it is very, very clear that they didn't create this whole thing as a series to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot of figuring things out, shall we say. But they do a really, as you said, they just do a really good job of explaining it.
Mm-hmm. And I think so. What if you had to pick 1 through 5? Which one's your fave? Which one do you I won't say which one is your favorite, because again, this is sort of like a Lord of the Rings situation where it's all one story. It's just broken up into movies.
Mm-hmm.
So which one do you think you could watch the most?
Probably the first one, because it is like the only one that can stand alone, I would say.
Which one would you not mind like skipping over if you could?
4.
I'm in the same boat. Like, it's a good, fun fantasy adventure steampunk like genre mix, but it just feels so forced. Like, all of it feels forced.
Yeah.
And it just you get whiplash from how fast that story moves. It suffers from a pacing problem opposite of modern storytelling, where nowadays we get a 3-hour Batman movie with Sparkle Boy.
It's gonna be great.
Oh God, no. Whereas number 4, Mythica, you blinked and you were in a different story thread. So yeah, that one is very jarring. Like it suffers from a pace that is extremely fast. You know, Clay, the War Wagon is great. I'm not gonna lie. I'm quite stunned that they ditched it in the 5th film. I don't know why they did that, because they went through a lot of they contrived a lot of stuff to get the War Wagon. So yeah.
And I think I found the person who's taking you down.
Oh.
Check your DMs.
And I'm gonna get struck for humming, and that's just like a tick. Be nice, Mama Susan. I have a nervous tick. I don't even think it's a nervous tick. I think it's just a freaking ADD thing, or ADHD, or whatever. I hum. All right. What the? I'm gonna destroy you guys for a second. Hang on. We're gonna take off that pretty picture for a moment, just a moment, and I hope you all enjoyed it, because you're not gonna get to see it again, because we are almost out of time. We're gonna end on this one right here.
There you
That's
go.
who it is. That's who it's been.
You're welcome.
But, yeah, thank you. The War Wagon didn't make any sense, Clay, but it grew on me. I don't know. Eric liked the ridiculousness of Mythica 4. Okay, look, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I can buy that. I can accept that.
Like, if that is your jam, and don't get me wrong, I like steampunk to a degree. So here's the thing, though. Like, if you start a fantasy series as a true fantasy series, stick to fantasy. If you start as steampunk, stick to steampunk. If you start as sci-fi, stick to sci-fi. If you intermix at the very beginning, I can roll with you. Like, if you have a majority fantasy with some elements of steampunk rolled in, I can accept and roll with that. But when you throw it in 1 out of 5 films just randomly, I struggle. The struggle is real for me. Like, I just can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, so overall I would say considering that they did kind of make the series up on the fly a little bit, they did a really good job of one, making sure your main cast had something to do in every movie. So they weren't just doing the same thing over and over and over again. They were doing different things. You got to know their characters better.
Yeah.
And they also played around with the various roles a little bit. Like in 3, where Tila, who's been the moral center the entire movie, is the one that has the breakdown.
Yeah.
So like,
and goes crazy and like
Yep.
is willing to kill Merrick.
mm-hmm.
So
little Grave Master.
Little Grey Master has made their way in here. But yeah, so I think the one that I could probably watch the most, just between action and honestly, number 5 has the best effects, because guys, remember again,
They do.
all of these films were partially crowdfunded. So the studio put up an amount of money, but they were crowdfunded through Kickstarter. So it is this is literally made by fans and for fans. And but this one, you could tell they got a bit more support, a little bit more backing, some extra coin in their purse, and they were able to use it specific. Like the special effects in this film are very well done. They still lean heavy on the practical, which I really appreciate, but like that scene at the end that we showed, where it was Merrick and Zorlok killing the gods, it went pretty well.
It looks pretty good.
It was not bad at all. So yeah, it's just I don't know, something about this one, and I think it's because Deegan is my favorite character, and you just see him go through so much and develop so well. And he is the only one that he's really the only one that changed for the better. And I mean that,
Mm-hmm.
If you look,
Yeah, because
Thane,
he was a selfish
he was a
thief,
selfish
scoundrel.
yeah.
In the first movie, and he then is willing to
he
make
sacrificed
the ultimate
himself.
sacrifice.
Yeah, he made the ultimate sacrifice for Merrick and for humanity. Meanwhile, you have Anisette / Tila, who literally drove who drove Merrick to Zorlok. You've got Thane, who abandoned Deegan and Merrick to go wander the countryside by themselves because he wanted to stay with Tila. Even though his sword was sworn to Merrick. And he literally got in a fight with Deegan because Anisette / Tila wanted to kill Merrick because she was scared that Merrick would go to Zorlok, and Thane took Anisette's side, so it caused Deegan and Thane to fight. And then you have Merrick, who, slice it, dice it any way you want, she did help kill the gods.
Mm-hmm.
So really the only character who improved for the better, or who changed for the better, who grew, was Deegan.
Yeah, this is true.
And I think that's why 5 is my favorite, because it's not so much that Merrick gets the happy ending, even though that girl has been through an insane amount. Like, Deegan earned his happy ending. 1,000% he earned that happy ending.
I also wonder, with how many times Deegan was like getting his life force sucked out, how much life did he have left?
Right? Yeah, that's another thing. Merrick, like Deegan offers it, but so that Merrick can fight off these dudes more quickly and more powerfully and more efficiently, Deegan is like, yeah, go ahead, take my life force.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just been it was a wild ride of a series, I'm not gonna lie. I just didn't see that ending coming. Like, I really thought that they were going to find a way to bring Deegan back. I didn't see the gods dying, that's for sure. I didn't see Deegan dying, and I sure as heck did not see Merrick dying. And that was when Merrick actually died, when the stakes were not only like raised, but had to be paid. They actually were paid. Like, Merrick dies, guys. Like, this isn't like, yes, it is a happy ending, but I mean, it's sad. Like, they're dead. No, you can't have. I saw somebody ask. No, you can't have kids in the underworld. FYI.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
It is. I mean, it comes down to it, and Deegan pays, and Merrick pays, and the gods pay. And yes, Zorlok is destroyed and the Darkspore is destroyed. But, I mean, it comes at a price. 2/3 of the world got wiped out with it. I was just like, God dang. This series went from being, especially when you look back at number 4, which really the only person who died in number 4 was the mage from Hammerhead's team and the Baroness, because she was stupid and thought she could blow up Zorlok with a bomb. And
yeah, that was the thing that happened.
Yeah, but like, really, number 4 and number 3 were pretty light. They were pretty. I mean, actually, honestly, compared to 5, 1 through 4 are very happy-go-lucky, very upbeat, very positive.
Yeah, basically just fun adventures.
Yeah,
this one has stakes.
Yeah, and they get paid in full, which is something that I appreciate, because you also don't see that anymore, especially when it is a female lead who has, like, who's the chosen one, or who has the power, or you know, the destiny, whatever, whichever theme you want to use. I was fully expecting for Merrick to survive. Okay, yeah, but the dragon is okay, Clay, I know, but like, we brought that up. Project and I talked about that. Because the CGI dragon, while we appreciate it and we understand that, you know, low budget does not mean that it's necessarily a bad film, but you can tell that is a low budget dragon, CGI dragon.
That was not a very good dragon.
That it was kind of funny. Like,
yeah,
I think they would have been better served if you just saw scales. Like, if you saw like a CGI scaled tail and then the dude disappeared and you heard the sounds of him getting eaten. I think they would have been better served in that way.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like the Jaws thing. The shark was scarier before you ever saw it.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, Eric, was that you too? Where you were like, holy crap, they did, like, she dead. Yeah, that was me. Like, I was just like, wait a minute, what just happened? Like, yikes. But yes, so this one doesn't give these films don't give Merrick any false, like, pretense. There's no, she earns everything, or she deserves, like, she either earns it or she gets what she deserves. Because, I mean, quite frankly, after you wipe out all of the gods, with the exception of Anisette, who Zorlok personally killed, that's a pretty hefty crime. I'm not gonna lie. That's not a small thing to do. And it's just, you know, like, she, honest to God, she deserved to die. She really did. For what she had done. Granted, yes, she sacrificed herself and everything, but when you break it down, I mean, she deserved to die. She was the reason that Zorlok was able to, because what you didn't see in that scene that I was trying so hard not to get struck for is Zorlok was literally draining the life out of everybody left on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So he would have turned everyone into the undead. And, you know, Merrick gave him that ability and then helped him kill the gods so that there would be nobody to stop him. So she really did deserve to die, but you still don't expect it to happen. Because you're like, oh, it'll be a happy ending, and, you know, with her necromancy power, she'll be able to bring him back from the dead, and they'll live happily ever after. And then it's like, nope. 2/3 of the world is dead. Deegan's dead. Gods are dead. Oh, look, Merrick's dead. Lots of death in this one. When you're responsible for kicking off the apocalypse and putting humans on the endangered species list, you kind of deserve death. That's what I'm saying, Eric.
Yeah.
That is true. And yes, I am purposefully ignoring you, Lord Gravemaster. I see you in the chat. Stop stealing my chat from me.
After you gave him a wrench and everything.
Right? See? That's what I'm saying.
I'm grateful.
But all in all, I would have to say that I think number 1 does a great job of hooking you and bringing you in. Number 2 does a really good job of picking up where 1 left off and sort of like pushing you into this new narrative, like this new storyline.
Mm-hmm.
3, I think, is the second most dark out of the films, out of the 5.
Yes.
Is what I would have to say. And then, of course, you have 4, which is just like quirky, and you gotta love it. And then
yeah, I mean, I would say 4 is probably the most lighthearted of all of them.
And then, yeah, and then you've got this 5th one, which I think is a fantastic send off to the whole series.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it's also, considering that this is a very small independent studio.
Yes,
they really did do a really good job of taking a fantasy story, which medieval fantasy it's expensive. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
You know, because anyone can set a movie in, you know, the modern day, because if you don't have a budget, you can just tell the actors what you want them to wear. You can't do that with medieval fantasy. It won't work. Because you got costumes and sets and horses and
we
armor.
touched on this. Yeah, we touched on this a little bit last week when we said, you know, everybody jokes about the Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
And it's just that takes you out of the story, especially for a production that has that much funding and that much support and should be like the pinnacle of fantasy. Like, it should have been up there with Lord of the Rings, and it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just because they blew the final season.
I mean, that didn't help.
It didn't help, but that's not the only reason. The fact that you have those little jokes where, oh, somebody was wearing leather trousers in one episode, I guess, and then there were Starbucks coffee cups on the table, and then they tried to make a joke out of it, and they would leave Starbucks cups around during other episodes or during other filming sessions, and it's
or in the final episode, you had, you know, the actors that were sitting there on, you know, they're part of this important medieval high council, and yet on the ground is like their plastic water bottles.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not cover that up? It's so simple.
Just lazy. And
Yeah.
it takes you
And
out
that's
of
not
this.
that's not to say there aren't production errors in Lord of the Rings. There's the famous car that's driving by in the background in the
Eric just
Shire, which is, but people are willing to overlook it because
the whole
but-
thing was so good. You know, until like 2 weeks ago, I didn't even know that car was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I just didn't care. Like, I was so engrossed
Mhm.
in the story, and it wasn't something that was so blatant that it would take you out of the story. But
Mhm.
leather pants when you're supposed to be wearing chainmail garb, and it's like black leather,
Yeah.
like shiny black leather, and then you've got yeah, see, that's what I've heard, Chris Persia, that it felt deliberate because none of them cared. You've got the plastic water bottles at the end when it's supposed to be this epic decision of how the kingdoms are gonna, like, how are all of everybody gonna move forward, who's gonna be in charge of King's Landing, who's gonna, you know, take care of all of this stuff. And I just it the whole thing was just a throwaway.
Mhm.
And I don't know. The fact that
Yeah, the point is, because these guys have the budget, you expect better from them.
exactly.
But if the story grabs you in, you're willing to overlook some of the budget deficiencies that something like Mythica has.
Yeah. And it was really I'm just stunned at the quality of all 5 of these films. I'm really stunned with the budget that they had, especially compared to those bigger budget fantasy series.
Mhm.
And I think, and I'm sure Project would agree with me, we've said this before, you can watch one movie a night for the week because they're not long films. They're
5 is
fun.
a little long because it's
Mine's a
wrapping
bit
everything
longer,
up.
but it'll be a Friday night anyway. So, you know, if you start on Monday, it'll be a Friday. There you
But
go.
then you got Friday Night Tights.
Depending on where you're at, that ends at 5:30, 6 o'clock. Just saying.
This is true.
So, I think, yeah, I think like if you watched one film a night for what you could knock these suckers out in a week and you could thoroughly enjoy yourself. They're fun. They're, for the most part, well paced. The writing is very good. The actors have that's the other thing. The actors all have great chemistry together.
Yes.
The whole cast really works well. You know, and that's really important too. So I think all in all, if I had to give this series a rating, I would say this is probably an 8.5 out of 10. And I'm giving it a little bit of grace because it's not huge, but so don't come to these movies looking for exceptional special effects and big budget staging and stuff like that. But for what they had to work with, and the fact that they were able to make 5 films on a partially crowd-funded budget, you guys are in for a huge treat. Like, honestly, the story is great. The acting is on point. The chemistry is there. The resolution is fantastic. And it just hits you right in the gut. So,
Yeah. Overall, I would probably give the Mythica series probably a 7 out of 10.
there you go.
So it's like, yeah, are there flaws? Yes, there are, but it overcomes them pretty well, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah.
What it lacks in big budget fanfare, it makes up for in heart and storytelling and fun.
Yes, you can
And-
absolutely tell that the creators love telling fantasy stories.
Absolutely.
And we're really, really in this.
Absolutely. So, well, I would, first of all, we went a little bit longer than I intended, but I wanted to thank everybody that is here in chat. I don't see anything else on the donation side, so I am not going to read anything else out. Guys, chat, you've all been amazing, with the exception of Lord Gravemaster. Shame. I really do just love and appreciate every single one of you. You guys make this so much fun and totally worth it. And I love the conversation, and I love just how fun all of it is. And I am really, really excited to keep doing these streams into the next year. Like I said, this is going to be a pretty heavy year of fantasy mixed in with a little bit of action. If Lord Gravemaster can attest to this, there are very few horror films that I actually like, for a litany of reasons. But if you guys want to see horror, just go watch Gary try to say Horror Emerada's name, and it's much more funny. But yeah, there's other channels out there that will hit you up with the horror that you need. There's a few video games that I'll be covering. I might do a playthrough. Oh my god, Slay Queen. It's such a Disney thing to do.
I got this from the Babylon Bee.
I love those guys. I want to start, I do want to add one more live stream a week to my channel. I still have to sort of figure out the logistics for that and how it would work. This Saturday, Lethal is actually going to be on my channel, because if y'all didn't know, Lethal Lightning got nuked off of YouTube, and then he got nuked off of Twitter.
Again.
Again. So he has his backup channel. If you don't know, he's got Lethal Live and Hyper Lethal, which is his gaming channel. So those two are where he's at more often now, and Lethal Live has been taken off really well. But
I did
Saturday,
not know he had a backup channel. That's good to know.
Yeah, so he has Hyper Lethal and Lethal Live. So go check him out at both of those. You can go over and subscribe to him. He does a lot of Halo, man after my own heart. Trying to think. He does a little bit of Destiny, Battlefield, Medal of Honor, stuff like that. He's got a Twitch channel too. But yeah, Saturday night or Sunday morning, if you're in Australia, he'll be hanging out with me, and we're going to talk volume 5 of the Sailor Moon manga. And but yeah, so I've got a lot of stuff in the works. Lord of the Rings, Amazon.
Hell yeah.
Dropped some stills today, and they're
I know.
My
I know.
soul. More 1883. Yeah, I could talk 1883. Love you, babe. But I'm going to be covering some games, some books, some music. Like next week is actually going to be, it's going to be my favorite hot cocoa and 3 of my favorite books, 3 of my favorite fantasy books besides Lord of the Rings, because obviously it would be all 3. It would be Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return of the King. So outside of the Lord of the Rings, I'm going to share 3 fantasy books that I really love and enjoy, and 2 of them are part of a series. And I'm going to share the cocoa that I like to drink when I'm reading it, and
Nice.
the music that I like to listen to. So it's yes, dear, I know. No, not you, Legionist. Sorry, I meant to click this one. Indie video games.
Oh my goodness.
And their artwork. Yes. So I'll hit up some of that. Oh, I have actually read Rune Lords. I've read 1 and 2. And Eric, yes, I will hit up the Dresden Files as well. So there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe, guys. So there's going to be, so next week, it's just going to be some of my favorite books, my favorite hot cocoa, and music that I like to listen to when I'm reading. The week after is going to be another fantasy stream. And then on the in-between, I've got Wheel of Time videos for you. I've got Lord of the Rings videos. Well, Amazon Rings of Power videos. I'm going to stop calling that Amazon Lord of the Rings because it is not Lord of the Rings.
It certainly does not look it, no.
No. So I will be doing a whole bunch of stuff, and most of it is apparently going to be dedicated to taking down Amazon, apparently, because they ticked me off. Oh my god! Yes, I love that D&D series, Dragonlance. It is fantastic. I own them all. I've read them all. We're going to cover that one too. Don't you worry, Legionist. I got you. Yeah, I know it is. Did you know that they came out with a Dragons of Summer? Oh, it left me. They came out with the Dragons of Summer one. I can't think of the whole title right now, but it is actually fairly decent. But it's kind of weird that it came in the after, because the trilogy wraps up nicely. But now that I've jib-jabbered, Project, why don't you plug something? I saw your wife's solo vid. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah. So this week we have a Star Trek video. Provided I don't lose power, because I still need to finish off the script a little bit. That should be out either Saturday or Sunday. And then also Saturday, I'll be on with Eris of Chaos, who just hit 600 subscribers.
Yay!
And I'm not sure what we're covering a Man of Steel video that actually broke us, and we had to break it up.
Aw. For a second, I thought you said Amanda Steele video, and I was like, who's that? Like, who's Amanda Steele?
Oh,
Man
that
of
would
Steel.
that would be a great name for a channel, wouldn't it? But no, a Man of Steel video, which it made our brains melt with how terrible it was.
Oh, that's always fun.
And then also I'm hoping to get my my Dragon Age videos back up and running, because I've done 2 parts of my video playthrough series on it, and I want to get them back up.
There you go. Well, that's
So
very cool.
Yeah, so Dragon Age should be coming soon.
I can't wait. I love Dragon Age.
Oh, it's a great game.
Like, yeah, I absolutely love it. I don't, and for some reason, a lot of my girlfriends love Dragon Age Inquisition. I don't hate it, but I really like Dragon Age 2 better.
I would say Dragon Age 2 is mostly, the biggest problem with Dragon Age 2 is the fact that it was rushed, and it's incomplete. You're just going to the same map over and over and over again. It's like, how many times do I need to clear off this cave of slavers? They're everywhere.
Well, I think I may actually have ADHD or ADD, and again, Lord Gravemaster can back me up on this when I say I can listen to a single song for 2 weeks straight and never get tired of it on repeat.
That's
continuously fair. And do everything to that song. Work out, sing, dance, clean, work, read, pout, whatever, you know.
No, I get it.
The girl
I get
stuff.
You.
But yeah, I actually liked the repetitiveness. I don't know. Like I think Dragon Age set the stage like really high.
Dragon Age Origins is one of my favorite games of all time. So
yeah,
that's the one I'm currently doing reviews of, and we'll see if I'll go into the other ones. But because
I don't.
They're long games.
They are very long games. I don't think. But see, again, my girlfriends all seem to like Inquisition better. I like Origins is my favorite, but I even like Dragon Age. That's what I'm saying. I like Dragon Age 2 better than Inquisition. Like I said, Inquisition is not bad, but
it's okay.
It doesn't have as strong of a storyline for me, anyway.
Not really.
And-
It has Dragon Age Inquisition has a lot of illusion of choice.
Yeah. And you know, a lot of my girlfriends who play the game, they're like, "Oh, I made so and so get married," or like, "I got to marry so and so," and I was like, "Okay, well, are you gonna finish the game?" They're like, "No, I'm good now." Just like, what? Okay, why? Because you can play as a female in Inquisition. It's been so long.
Yes.
You can play as a female in Inquisition and then marry the king. And so that's what they all did. And I was like, cool. Now are you going to save the world and like finish the game? No. Oh, okay.
Oh.
That seems weird. But
And I also have to say, Inquisition also has the most annoying of all the companions. I detest Sarah so much.
I wholeheartedly agree with that as well. But yeah,
She has a great bard song. I love the song.
Yeah, she does.
But I hate the character. She's so annoying.
She's like, I was just waiting for her to go, "Hey, listen." So I just could slap her. Like I was waiting for it. I was just waiting for just like the, "Hey, listen." And just be like, "Listen, no. Trauma. You can't do that to me. Get out of here." Like she's just, and comparatively speaking, also relatively useless. Like,
yeah,
compared to the other companions from the other games, not on my top 3. Even like that's all I got. But like that's just, I freaking love the Fable games. See, guys, like we're already going down. Like it is emotional damage. Yes. Yeah. Freaking A. But yeah, I love Dragon Age Origins. I can't think of anybody that doesn't love Dragon Age Origins.
It's a great game. It's so great.
Fantastic.
I've been having so much fun replaying it, and I need to get back to editing my videos for it.
Do it. But yeah, Dragon Age Origins. I like Dragon Age 2 better than Inquisition by a long shot. And then
I miss when BioWare was good.
I miss when like all these I'm just gonna let you guys know moving forward because if Sony has bought Bungie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm trying to run. Hold on. Who did Microsoft just buy last week?
Activision.
Like, corporations have got to stop sucking up independent studios, game studios, film studios, because guys, we saw what happened when Disney absorbed Marvel and Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm Arts is no more. LucasArts is gone. It's just gone.
Yeah.
And we saw what happened with Disney Star Wars. Look at the state of Marvel. Like, these corporations just need to stay away. Far away. But I'm just it's gonna come down. We're gonna end up right where it's gonna be like, did you ever you remember the Cable Wars project? I know you didn't have cable growing up. I didn't have cable growing up, but like it was, you had a cable provider and you could only get certain channels.
Yes.
And that is essentially, guys, I don't know if you're catching on to this, but with these streaming services, that's exactly where we're headed again. Oh, you can only get this on Amazon, but you can only get this on HBO Max, or you can only get this on Disney Plus. Like, we are headed straight into the same situation that we were just in before.
And also, it's also because Netflix had such a huge head start on everybody else.
Yeah.
This is why it was almost foolish for, CBS, Paramount to go like, hey, let's do our streaming service. Like, why?
We're seriously, here's
You're
the
so
thing.
far behind the 8 ball now.
Okay, have you watched Yellowstone at all?
I have not. I've heard
Okay,
it's
first of all,
good.
it's freaking fantastic. We're waiting for hubby and I are waiting for the latest season to drop on Amazon. I think it should be on there actually. Now, but so Paramount, like the like on TV, like old school TV Paramount, not Paramount Plus, but Paramount, the television channel, right?
Mhm.
You can watch it on there. I think it just set a hang on. I'm gonna pull this up for you guys. It just set a record. For Yellowstone season 4 finale sets massive record. Let's see if I don't boomer it this time. Sets massive ratings record. This is the biggest, like, it had 9.3 total viewers. Hang on, here we go. Yeah, so 9.3 live viewers and 11.2 million viewers total. That's insane. You don't see that on TV anymore.
Mhm.
Like, that doesn't happen because of all these streaming services. And then they put, yeah, I know, I'm behind. I'm sorry, Lord Gravemaster, okay? I'll fix it. There's too much to do. Anyway, so, like, they finally put out Paramount on TV, put out a fantastic show, and it has just blown everybody out of the water. So if Paramount could get their head out of their rear, they literally have people coming to their television channel for this show. And what CBS and NBC and ABC are failing to realize as they all try to shift to streaming, if they just nailed their television programming, they would be in such a good position because everybody still has those basic channels for the most part.
Mhm.
So if you give them something worth watching, they're going build it and they will come.
Yep.
As Yellowstone just proved. So, of course they did. Like, they'd be dumb not to, Chris Persia. Like,
Well, they also renewed Alex Kurtzman's contract too. So
we don't talk about such things.
well, I'm just saying Paramount's executives are hit and miss.
Yeah. Well, I don't know who's in charge of Yellowstone, but they've been all hits lately.
Okay.
And it's a good thing. I'm so happy to see that. But if you can just give people something worth watching and they'll come. They
Like
will
Mythica.
they will show up for you if you give them a reason and you don't insult them and you don't call them losers or whatever. Or that they drink piss. Or that you don't want them there because of certain things. So, I don't know. I'm not the CEO of a multi-million or multi-billion-dollar company, but I would think insulting your customers consistently is not something you should do. Doesn't sound like sound business practices to me.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons I'm not watching Boba Fett.
I'm not watching that for many reasons, but we ditched Disney Plus the second they fired Gina Carano. It was just bye. We also ditched Netflix after the Cuties thing and have not looked back.
Yeah, I ditched Netflix after that too.
Mm-hmm. And no, and so that I can clarify, no, I am not suggesting nor condoning pirating. I'll make that clear. I will simply say there are other ways to watch your favorite show off of Netflix than having an account with Netflix.
This is true. Yeah, I mean,
Still-
I do not have Disney Plus. I have access to it, and it's perfectly legal.
But it's just not worth it. And I've not watched anything since the off of Disney Plus since the Mandalorian season 2 finale after they fired Gina Carano. Nor will I. Disney's not getting any more of my money. And I have 4 small children, so that's a lot of money that Disney's losing out on. Just saying. It's yeah. But I think we've done enough of the Midwest goodbye. Everybody in chat, you've all been fantastic. Thank you for being such good sports. As you can tell, there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to be talking about with these streams moving forward. And Project, thank you so much for agreeing to be my co-host for these past 4 streams. With
no problem. Thank you for having me.
Yes, it was an absolute delight. And you are welcome back, well, almost any time. If I've got Lord Gravemaster on, he's going to override you, just so you know.
Just promise me you'll bring me on for that retro commercial stream we talked about that one
Yes.
time.
90s nostalgia commercials? Abso-freaking-lutely. I don't care what anybody says. The 90s had the best commercials.
They did.
So, without further ado, I cannot thank you all enough for being here. I hope you go check out the Mythica series. You can go to Arrowstormentertainment.com and find even more great stuff that they're working on. Good people over there. They really know what they're doing. And they care. They care about fantasy. They care about fans. And they're doing good stuff. So don't forget, the way that you win the culture war is not just closing your wallet to things that disrespect us and that we don't want anymore, but also opening it to those who do everything in their power to provide us with escapism, and they respect the fans and they respect the lore and the genre. So God bless, Godspeed, and good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.